What is up? Welcome to Charlotte Soccer Show. It's Danny Brams in the house, here to decode another presser. The gods delivered us more words from the people that we love, our beloved players in our squad. Captain Ashley Westwood spoke today to local media, and I'm here to talk about it with y'all. Welcome. Thanks for everybody who's been watching these bits and this fun kind of stuff. The content machine is cranking up. Preseason is getting hyped, getting buzz, getting excitement. I'm feeling it. I hope you're feeling it. I know everybody wants new players. Hopefully they're coming. Ashley Westwood spoke today, like I said, and it was great. And the best part about it is that I got to be there. I was on the Zoom. He's in Florida. Local media and reporters were there asking questions. And, Charlotte Soccer Show just keeps growing and growing and growing. That little show that could, that little duo that could, me and Johnny just trying to make fanalism happen, if you will. Fanalisis, I guess, would be probably a better way to say that. We like to use that term, fanalists. And the fanalists are now in the room, so watch out. I was really lucky and happy and blessed to get to ask a few questions myself, hear everybody else's questions. And that's what we want to do. That I can't say that we're going to go to every single presser, but Johnny and I will be attending a lot more of the media opportunities this year, so we can directly deliver clips and commentary and things like that, and really, instead of having to rely on posting other people's clips and stuff like that, and hoping someone else asked the question we were looking to get answered, we can actually just ask the questions ourselves. So that's kind of cool, and we can talk about it all here. Decoding the presser. I love doing it. People have given pretty good feedback. Hopefully, it doesn't get old. I can't say I'm going to do it for every single press conference that happens this year, but it is fun, and we're feeling the hype. So let's get after it. Let's keep doing it while it is a good time. I got one confession to make, which is that I started my recording late. So I missed the first couple questions. So when I start the clip, you're going to hear him finishing up one answer. Then the next question comes from Top 90, which is a good question because it ends up breaking some news. So you got to love that. And then everybody else will follow after that. But before we get there real quick, let me just bring up this from Carol Walton, who she asked the first two questions of the press conference, and I missed the recording on that, so I just wanted to read through. She right away got to sort of the elephant in the room, which you got to respect the veteran reporter for doing this, asking about the Anton Walkes tragedy, which if I'm not mistaken, Friday is the anniversary of. I'm recording this on a Wednesday evening. Fridays, there's going to be a memorial service uptown, memorial walk. I hope a lot of people have gotten that info. It's everywhere on social media, so check it out. But Captain Westwood says it was tough, the whole build-up to it. They're feeling it on this anniversary. But they have an in-house thing they're going to do as a team. I'm assuming that's on Friday that he's referring to. We'll pay our respects, and we'll take him everywhere we go. I think that's the thing I've heard a couple of times. Astley say, and I think even Latanzio said it and a few other folks, which is we'll take him everywhere we go. We will take Anton everywhere we go. He's one of our own forever now. That's all there is to it. Glad that we did get a chance to hear about that and whatnot. And without further ado, I will turn it over to. I wish I would have done that recording so we could actually have heard it in Westwood's own words. So my apologies there, but what can I say? I was still figuring out the Zoom controls. So, but here we goes, Westwood, and I will pop in where it seems necessary.
He's got the manager's expecting a lot, so he's come here to do things, and we want to fulfill that as well. So it's a big challenge for us, but one we're thriving.
Nice. And last year you came in, you established yourself, not only as a player for this squad, but as a leader as well. I'm curious your expectations, I guess your personal expectations for year two. Like, what are you hoping to give Charlotte FC this year?
The first year was obviously for me it was a great success. I did miss a few games, so that's one thing I had a broken pre-season. I had to go back and do the visa, so that wasn't ideal preparations. But this year I want a full pre-season. I did have a little operation in the off season, which no one knew about, but that's all, touch wood, it all feels good. So I'm ready to go. I've come back in good shape. And like I said, for me, I want to play every minute of every game. That's the least I want to do for this team, is be out there and give my all when selected. And if I perform right, that's my personal target, is to play every game for this football club and lead us to glory.
Awesome. Thank you.
Lead us to glory. You like to hear that. Operation in the leg. You don't like to hear that much. Spoiler alert, he will clarify more comments on exactly what that means. But it does sound like it was relatively minor. But it was a bit of news. Like he said, I had an operation and no one knew about it. No, we didn't know about it, actually. But good to know about it now. More info on that coming later in this press conference. And let's keep going.
Good luck this season.
Thank you, mate.
Okay, we'll go to Sam Spencer, Arturo on deck.
Ash, good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Is that a Wimbledon top?
Oh yeah, it's the Wimbledon top. So first, just wanted to clarify. So you said you had an operation in this off season.
Yep, I had a little towards the back end of last season. I had the complicated one. I had a little infection in my leg, but we put it off to the off season. We knew we had a big break, so we got that done. All the metal work is now out. I've got a normal ankle again, and it feels good. So I'm really looking forward to the season ahead.
That's really good to hear. What's the mood like in the locker room? How's the team talking about this season?
All right, so hey, a little ankle thing, a little, cleaning it out a little bit. No big deal. Hopefully not going to break him. Already preseason shaping up a lot better in terms of continuity for him, since, like he said, he doesn't have to leave and go back across the pond to get citizenship and visa stuff worked out. So ultimately, he seems optimistic about it, so I'm not that worried about it. I'm sure it's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with Ashley Westwood's ankle, right? But certainly not. Shout out Sam Spencer also for checking in from Hawaii. So presumably much warmer than we're doing here in Charlotte.
Preseason and what's ahead?
It's been tough. We're 3 days in, and we've got the afternoon to rest now, which is welcomed. I'm feeling it, but it's been good. Lads have come back in good shape. We did a lot of football this morning, which was tough, intense. Obviously, everyone's wanting to impress the new manager, so with that comes a lot more intensity, and lads are pointing in. But we need to sustain it now, and this is where we'll come together as a team.
To expand on what was asked about the coach, obviously you have a lot of connections. You both have the Aston Villa connection. You both have the EFL and league football connection. Do you think that's going to play into your relationship between captain and coach?
He loves his tea as well. But no, he comes with a lot of experience. Obviously,
Obligatory tea reference.
I never played under him, but I know a lot of people who have played under him, and the same club he worked for. He's still got people there who I speak to, and obviously being a player, you reach out, ask him what he was like, and everyone I spoke to had great things to say about him. So I was super excited to have him here, and I think we're lucky to have him. I know a lot of clubs back in England were desperate to take him, but thankfully he chose Charlotte. He sees it as a big challenge, and it's even at his stage in his career, he's come out here to test himself, and he wants to do well. So it's only good for the football club.
Cheers, best of luck this preseason.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers to you, Sam. So that's really good to hear that they feel lucky to play for this guy. They feel lucky, like, to know that the players feel lucky about the new coach that was hired in, because they could be saying different. There's with a lot of the stuff you're going to hear in this presser, it's like, well, what do you expect him to say? Is he going to come out and bash the team? Is he going to come out and say, right now we're screwed, MAR style? I doubt it. So you got to just learn to read between the lines with some of this stuff and see what kind of nuggets you can pull out from the sort of the honeymoon speak, you will. It's honeymoon stage with this guy, right? We just got married, and everyone we're going to be in love, at least for a little while, as long as we possibly can. But everyone's trying to show out. He said everyone's trying to impress the manager. Everyone wants to know how they can find their place in this guy's brain, because he's coming in totally blank slate. Every single player, their spot is up for grabs. I mean, you got to figure the high money guys and the captain and whatnot, and the guys with names have an edge towards like keeping a place and earning a spot in the 11. But like, really, it's a blank slate. And Dean Smith's coming in. He said it himself. Like, I don't know any of these guys. So, spoiler alert, we will talk to Dino about that probably next week. But when it comes to what's at stake this week, it's about that never getting a chance to make a first impression again on a new coach who has come through and wants to know what he's got on his hands. And Westwood recognizes that, and you can see. I mean, look at his eyes right there. Even he's looking into a world where, you know, he's going to make some references here. And I thought maybe they were jokes, but actually now I'm starting to think maybe they might have been a little more serious when he's like, if I'm lucky enough to have a place in the side, you know, so we'll see.
Okay, Arturo, then Willie P after that.
Hey, Ashley, how's it going? Happy 2024.
Thank you, and you.
Thanks. Ashley, so new manager, you have mentioned before that it's been 3 days, but it feels like 3 weeks. Technically and tactically, how is that relationship building up right now with Dean, and are the players understanding? How's that dynamic building up so far?
So he did a presentation the other night, which was incredible. Even as old lads were taken back by it, and we're all wanting to learn as well. But the young lads, it was simple. We should all know what we're doing, what he wants. Yeah, we're only 3 days in, but we're working towards what the manager wants and his expectations, the whole culture around the place, which is something what I wanted to bring in last year. And now with everyone is buying into it, and we're developing we've got a great group as it is. Even last year we had a great group, but now we need to push on and all take our performances to the next level as well.
And as the captain, we saw you talking to most of the players, to not say all of the players, during games and, you know, during trainings, especially with Enzo. You know, it's the first season for both of you. Now with the young players coming in like Tiger and even Enzo as well, how's that relationship building up with those young players, and, you know, that continuing relationship with players like Enzo? Because we know that you've developed a really good relationship since last year.
Yeah, like I said, it's tough.
So we'll get the answer in a second, but I feel like I love Arturo here. I don't know Arturo, so I can't comment 100%, but I almost feel like he's trying to slip his question about Enzo in, because everyone wants to know about Ashley and Enzo's relationship. Slip it in, you know, with the Trojan horse of the young players question riding in front of it. I don't know. I'm not going to like say that's what he's doing, but it sounds like it to me. It's something I might have done.
Your new year, it's always tough. Obviously, Enzo was learning the language, and now he's incredible. He's almost fluent English. Like I said, so he's bought into it. We've got obviously the young lads coming in. It's not easy for them, but it's one where they'll develop quickly. And like I said, it's all setting us on the right path to success. And like I said, for me, my role never changes. I want to help. I come here to help develop players and be that leader. And like I said, but the manager doesn't want one leader. He wants the whole team to be communicating, and that's what we need to improve on as a whole squad. We all need to be in it together and help each other.
Thank you, Ashley. Best of luck.
Communication. You can never communicate enough. A couple quick stories. I have a boss in I don't want to, you know, talk shop too much here, but one of my boss's big message that he always hammers home every time we have like a year-end review is like, you know, you can never say that you learn to communicate perfectly, because you can always improve your communication. I do believe that's true. Smart guy. So, but you hear Westwood drop the communication, and you hear the other story I was going to say is we have a sort of a tradition at every job I've ever worked in this media world, producing television of various stripes, is that say, isn't it ironic? We work in the communications business, but nobody communicates. Yeah, so that old saw gets thrown around, you know, every couple of weeks or months in just about every job I've ever had. But anyway, Ashley Westwood talking communication is pretty cool to know. So he said the nuggets, you're searching for the nuggets. The main thing he made sure to stress early on answering that question was Enzo's learned how to speak nearly fluent English now. You know, I think that's great. I think it's probably unfortunate that more of our guys who didn't speak fluent Spanish the burden should have been on them to learn a little more Spanish as well. But, you know, I get it. Enzo's coming here, and this English is the language of business, the language of money, even if it's not necessarily the official language of the United States. So learning English is important. And but whether or not enough guys have learned more Spanish, or even me, and I'll indict myself in that same set breath. But the communication will be improved if Captain Westwood, who is English native speaker, can speak a little bit more directly and clearly and communicate with more nuance and things like that with Enzo. So I think that's great. Awesome. I'm glad that question was asked because, like I said, like these guys, a lot of times when we were having quote unquote Enzo antics in some of the late, really important games last season, a lot of times Westwood would just walk away. He didn't want to deal with it. So definitely something we will be watching this year and wanting to see.
But this is
Thank you.
Okay, Willie P, then Daniel Bramlett after.
Going on, Ashley? How are you, pal?
Who?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. I spent some time in your home country and talking to a lot of people about Dean Smith over the winter. And the one thing that came back to me was it brings a credibility to the side because of his experience. How do you feel like the perception of the club maybe changes with Dean's identification with the club?
Yeah, like I said, I'm sure he was a wanted man in England. I know there was some very big clubs that were linked to him. I don't know how true that was, but it was when I was back home. I knew of the links, and they were big clubs. So, like I said, for this club to bring him here and to get him here, and it's like I said, it shows what we are building here, and for him to come into that, he will bring a wealth of experience. He's been there, he's done it, he's managed some top players. Also developed some top players. Like I said, he said in his meeting, he's coached from under 18s all the way through lower leagues in England and all the way to the top. So he's got everything. I am super excited to work with him.
He mentioned that you were one of the first people to reach out to, which again, it makes sense being the captain, but also having your kind of combined lineage maybe makes also that much sense as well. What was that conversation initially like, and how has the development of that relationship continued as he tries to draw from you what he needs to get out of the young guys and other players as far as the preseason goes?
Yeah,
This is a great question from Willie P, by the way. Willie P, you stole my question. You stole my question, Willie P. This is on my list of things I definitely wanted to make sure I asked, but thank you for asking it so I could squeeze in another one on a different topic.
What the club was like and what it was like, what we needed. And like I said, I told him I was honest, and he fits it perfectly for me. He does fit it perfectly. And I think the young lads will really develop off him. He's a coach that wants to help people. He lets the coaches that we've got do the work as well. He stands, and from what I've seen, he stands and watches from the outside. He's not always in it. He takes a step back, and you always know he's watching. So he's always in the corner of your eye, and you want to impress him. And the young lads are learning already. I saw him pull 2 of the young lads today to speak to them. And like I said, they need to take it on board and really thrive off working with a great manager.
Thank you, Ash. Cheers.
The young boys, you gotta love the young boys, right? The very cool question from Willie P. And like, I'm glad to know, like, what I wanted to know for sure. What was that conversation, that first conversation, like between Dean Smith and the captain of his new club? Love, even the first question was a good one, just kind of hammering home, like, how good do you feel for him to say, he was a wanted man back in England, not for anything that he did wrong or anything like that. He was a wanted man because people want him to manage their club. Stoke City was coming out of the blue. Their former Premier League side, maybe not one of the best Premier League sides in history of that fine institution, but I'm an Arsenal fan, so I would say that. But regardless, he's happy to have Dean. He's happy the young guys are going to learn and develop under Dean. And his first conversation was, how is the club? What do you need? That's if not just, not to pat myself on the back too much here, which I'm always going to be doing on this channel. But that was my question to Dino, was what do you need? What do you need from us, the fans? Dino's first question actually was, what is this club? What do you need for the club? So interesting to note. So very good times. All right, let's see what old Danny Brams has to talk to this dork about, huh?
All right, Danny.
Hey, Ashley, you hear me?
I can hear you, mate.
Excellent. Thank you. Hope you had a great visit back home. Welcome back to the United States.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back.
Excellent. So everybody in the fan base wants to know, I talk to fans every day. All they want to know is about the future of Karol Swiderski on this team. He's talked to different media about he has a dream to go to Europe. He's also said he wants to win something big here first. So you can't tell us his future. What can you tell us about his present and his state of mind and his presence in camp amidst some of the talk of potential moves in the future?
He's been incredible. I did the gym with him yesterday, and I hate the gym. He hates the gym, but we drove each other through it, and he was incredible. He's been brilliant in training. He said, you ask him what he's doing. He says he's here now. He's working hard. Like I said, he's done well in the running. So he's come. His professionalism has been brilliant. So whatever the future holds for Karol, we want him here. We want him here. He's got quality. He's got a wonderful left foot. And like I said, I think he's shown last year his attitude was spot on, and he performed very well, and was a big contribution to us getting in the playoffs. So again, it's up to him. It's obviously it's down to his decision. It's down to the club's decision. But we want him here. The lads enjoy working with him. We enjoy having him here. So it's whatever Karol wants to do, whatever the club decide it, and if whatever it is, it's his decision, the club's decision at the end of the day. But the lads really want him here, and we take to him. He's an important part of this group.
Cool. And then you talk. Today is the day that I learned that I have something in common with Ashley Westwood and Karol Swiderski. We all hate the gym, you know. What can I say? You know, they've made it work for them a little bit better in the professional athlete ranks. They still go to the gym even if they hate it. If I hate it, I don't go, and that's, you know, how I ended up here where I am, looking like a fucking schlub. But that notwithstanding, I will say that it was very cool. Also, I don't have a brilliant left foot like Karol does, as Ashley made sure to mention. And there's something to be said for a brilliant left foot. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, Karol sucks." Karol has his haters and detractors out there. He's still my favorite player on the club for whatever it's worth, and all intents and purposes. It's good to know that they are strongly vocally in support of Karol. I'm glad no one stole this question from me, because I wanted to be the one that was able to frame it in terms of, like, you can't speak on his future, but tell us about his present. I want to know, like, what Karol's thinking, and really if he's being a good teammate. I think we got that answer. Ashley basically just told us, hey, he was great all through a similar situation last year, and he hasn't changed, even if the speculation has gotten a little more intense. Good on all of them. I think Karol's an important part of what we're doing here. I'll stand by my prediction that Swiderski stays until at least the summer. I don't think he's going anywhere this year, but I could always be wrong. It does come down to his choice and the club's choice, as Ashley said. Talked about some of the young players taking in the lessons from Dino, and that's great to hear. Do you expect young players to make a bigger contribution on the first team this year than they were allowed to last year? Sometimes, a lot of times we saw guys have a great game and then we never saw them again. So is that going to change?
I don't know. They need to work hard, carry on working hard, carry on performing.
Honest answer. And
performing in training, which is the most important thing. And eventually, if they do get their chance, then it's up to them to take it. And I'm sure the manager will see that. And he's, like I said, he's worked with lots of young players before. He's developed a lot of players. So it's up to he's the manager. He'll pick the team, but the lads need to listen to him and take it on board. And us old lads lead by example. The running we do with the old boys who come back fit. So the young lads have to keep up to that level. It's tough. Like I said, the lads who have come from college. I spoke to Jelani. He said the difference is the intensity. So that's one thing that'll have to get up to speed. The intensity is. I imagine it's a lot different, but he's doing very well. Tiger's doing the same, and they need to learn from us. And then eventually we'll set them on the paths, and we'll be gone. And hopefully they learn from us.
And then just on the other one, last one on the exact opposite of that, Dino has made a very big point of his job is to make the players better on a detailed, granular level. If he does the process of making each player better, the results will flow from that. What does he have to teach you at 33 years old, 16, 17 seasons? How can he make you better?
In football, we never stop learning. Like I said, even in training, like the old boys can take the foot off the gas a bit in the warm up, but he's on you. So like I said, it's up to us as well to buy into that culture.
So no aspect of your, like, what's one detailed aspect of your game that's going to get better this year under Dino? That's what I want to know.
I think the positionally wise defending. Obviously, we've spoke about how we want to play, and we've spoke about that in his thing. So it's hopefully if I'm selected and if I'm part of the team, then I'll be sitting in the middle and controlling and hitting spaces and dictating the play. Like I said, we want to attack at speed as well this year. So that's one thing he wants to improve.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Okay, Sam, so
I mean, why did I call him sir? Well, I mean, come on. I mean, I know I play up this whole bit of, like, oh, captain, my captain, but I didn't have to call him sir. That was probably a little over the top. My bad on that one, but we did get a lot there. Obviously, hopefully if I'm selected, I don't know. Did you think he was laying it on a little thick there with the hopefully I'm selected? I think he'll probably be selected. He does have one of those fancy things you wear on your arm when he runs out there. Although that could change. You never know. Maybe he's not going to be the captain anymore. Who knows? That's not a lock. A lot has changed so far, and more will change still with this club. But I consider him my captain for now, and I love him. And so I called him sir. What can I say? But the whole bag of it is it doesn't sound like we can really guarantee that young players are going to play more as a matter of course, and that's fine. That's what I got from his answer there. And I got a lot of nice humility, and I felt the need. I had to kind of push back to him to try to get a little bit more of a real answer, because he was giving me the old, "Oh, you're never too old to learn in football." Yeah, that's true, but what do you, Ashley Westwood, have to do better, and what can Dean Smith teach you, right? If you never are too old to learn, what do you need to learn? You gotta push for those follow-ups, to get real answers. I'll tell you that if you're ever in the situation. Sometimes I do it better than others. I thought I did okay this time. The whole point of it is he talks about learning to go forward more and ping balls more. That's what we were promised when he was signed, was the pinger. You could have given him the nickname Pinger, because he was supposed to come and ping all these balls. And we got some pings. We got a few beautiful pings. If you saw the goals countdown, some of the best pings of all time were sent by this guy. But we need to see more of it, and I think most people know that, and I think he knows that. And I think Dino's job is to teach him to feel a little more comfortable. I think that will happen naturally. Just if everyone around him is better, I think Westwood just has the class to he'll just kind of get better by having less to worry about. I always felt like he was the one that, as a captain and as a leader on a mediocre club, let's just call it what it is, he had to worry so much about, I got to worry about what this guy's doing his job and that guy's doing his job and those guys doing their job and all this stuff. So I think just giving him the freedom to focus more on his own job, I think that'll unlock him for sure. I've said it before and said again, I think Westwood's coming for next this year. I think he's ready to dominate in year 2 of MLS, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but we had a few more questions. This is running a little longer than we normally do these, but not too long. So let's keep listening, and we'll hear a follow-up. I love Sam Spencer. He's I love all these great reporters that I get to cover the team alongside here in my fanalist role. But Sam jumping back in to follow up with kind of a little tongue-in-cheek question here is just butter.
Quick follow-up there, so let's go to you.
Sure. So Captain, you told Danny that Dean Smith is always watching. He's stepping back. He's leering. Is it as imposing as Paul Hollywood on Bake Off, or is it a little more friendly?
He's a little more friendly. Yeah, he's a little more friendly. He's a great, like I said, he's a great human being.
Oh man,
you see him interacting with all the staff, which is nice. And then, like I said, he makes a better cup of tea than Paul Hollywood as well, I bet.
Thanks.
All right, that's the last hand I saw. Final call.
Great soundbite there. It makes a better cup of tea than Paul Hollywood. If you're not a Bake Off fan, you probably didn't understand any of that. But if you do watch British Bake Off, or have watched, pretty popular show, you'll always appreciate a good Paul Hollywood reference. So thank you, Sam, for that. Second tea reference again by Westwood as well. We gotta get this guy drinking coffee. Come on, Ashley.
Before we wrap up here with Westy. Caleb, cool. We'll finish with Caleb here.
Hey, Ashley, good to see you.
Hi, Caleb.
Hey, I just want to ask you about sort of the short-term goals that y'all have. By the end of preseason, where do you all want to be? What are some of the goals that you've sort of established for by the time the preseason ends, you're ready to go kind of to the next stage of regular season?
We want everyone fit and healthy, and that's the most important thing, fit and healthy and ready to start the season. And we know we'll be working up to it. We've got loads of time left, but we're working hard. And we want to all know what we're doing. The manager's outlining his philosophy straight away, and we need to all buy into it. He's asking questions. He's asking the young lads, so everyone's interacting. And come by the end of the pre-season and the start of the season, everyone should know their responsibilities within the team and what the manager wants.
Great, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks for hopping on, everyone. Well, let's wrap it up there.
And there we have it. Ashley Westwood, Decoding the Presser, training camp greeting of local Charlotte media. I think everyone had a great time, and that was just, my For the Crown soul is fulfilled when I get to like see the connection we can make with the players like that. So love it. Thanks for the club for inviting us. And like I said, we're going to try to do it a lot more often. This is not a professional thing for me and Johnny, so we do it when we can, and we do it for the TIFOs. Probably if I'm going elevator pitch here on everything we heard from Westwood, it's 3 words: attacking with speed. That's what he said he wants to get better at through Dean Smith. That's what Dean Smith wants to sell to this team, is attacking with speed. This is going to be a lightning strike, a quick strike offense. I think Karol's going to be very excited. I think Kopetti's going to be completely unlocked. And maybe, who knows, maybe we'll even bring in a new player to fill a slot or two. Maybe we'll designate someone to run alongside Karol and Enzo up top. Who knows? But I hope everybody had a good time. This is Decoding the Presser. I don't have anything more to say, but for the crown, baby.